You see, church, it's not the balance in your bank account that determines your breakthrough. It's the balance in your belief system. Mindset, not money, divides the rich and poor. It's not what you have in your hands. It's what you have in your head that makes the difference. You keep thinking, it's about the money. You think if you just had a little more, your problems would disappear. But let me tell you, asterisk, it's not the money that's the issue. It's the mindset, that's where the war is. That's where the shift has to happen. Because if you're operating with a poor mindset, a rich paycheck will still leave you broke. Broke in purpose, broke in vision, broke in peace, broke in discipline, broke in strategy, broke in joy. You might dress it up, you might post it online, but deep down you're still battling bankruptcy of belief. Because hear me, you don't rise to the level of your income, you rise or fall to the level of your thinking. I've seen people with nothing build something powerful because they believed different. They thought different. They carried themselves like builders before they ever had bricks in their hand. And I've seen people with every resource imaginable crash and burn because they never renewed their minds. They inherited wealth but stayed stuck in cycles of fear, scarcity, entitlement, or laziness. Why? Because the money got to their hands but never made it to their heads. And I feel this for somebody. You've been waiting for a breakthrough in your finances, but what God wants to do is give you a breakthrough in your framework. The rich mindset says, I am responsible for where I'm headed. The poor mindset says, I'm stuck because of where I've been. One builds a future. The other blames the past. Which one are you feeding? Because whatever you feed gets stronger. You have to start seeing yourself the way God sees you. Not a victim, but a vessel. Not just scraping by, but called to multiply. You're not meant to live in spiritual poverty, emotional poverty, generational poverty. But until your mindset comes into agreement with God's truth, you'll keep living beneath your calling. You'll keep treating potential like a problem. You'll keep asking for elevation while refusing preparation. You'll keep praying for abundance while thinking in limits. And I came to tell you, you can't live in freedom with a slave mentality. You can't ask for overflow and keep operating in survival. There's more in you, but it has to start in your mind. The rich mindset invests, the poor mindset consumes. The rich think long term. The poor mindset is stuck in survival mode. You better listen to me right now, because this one right here will change the entire direction of your life if you let it. The rich mindset invests, the poor mindset consumes. It's not about how much you make, it's about what you do with what you have. The poor mindset is always looking for the next fix, the next thrill, the next meal, the next escape. It's caught up in and it's starving for next. It says, I need this right now to feel better, and it eats the seed before it ever has a chance to grow. But the rich mindset, it thinks different. It says, what I have in my hand is not just for spending, it's for sowing. It doesn't see a dollar, it sees a seed. It doesn't see time, it sees opportunity. It knows that every action is a down payment on a future harvest. So instead of wasting hours scrolling, it learns. Instead of complaining, it plans. Instead of shopping out of boredom, it invests with purpose. Because the rich mindset understands this powerful truth, discipline now creates freedom later. Let me break it down for you. When you get paid, when you get a little increase, what's your first thought? Do you immediately start calculating what you can buy? That's a poor mindset. That's consuming first, regretting later. But if your first instinct is to pause, to prioritize, to ask, how can I make this grow? That's a rich mindset being formed. And you don't need 6 figures to start thinking rich. You can start with $10. You can start with 30 minutes. You can start with one habit. I've seen people consume every blessing God gave them and still end up empty. Because consumption without purpose is just glorified destruction. You're eating your own future. But the rich mindset says, no, I'm gonna plant this. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna trust that God multiplies what I steward well. And let me tell you, asterisk, God won't multiply what you waste. Asterisk, he multiplies what you manage. You keep praying for increase, but what are you doing with what you have? You say you want to be blessed, but blessing without stewardship turns into a burden. This is not about being rich with money. This is about being rich in wisdom, rich in strategy, rich in purpose, because your future is waiting on your faithfulness today. The rich mindset seeks growth, the poor mindset fears change. One embraces learning, the other protects comfort. Let me tell you something that might rattle your comfort zone. Asterisk, growth isn't sexy. Asterisk, growth doesn't feel good. Growth doesn't ask for permission. Growth shows up dressed like failure, like stretching, like waiting, like pressure. And that's exactly why the poor mindset runs from it, because the poor mindset wants easy asterisk. The poor mindset wants familiar. It wants guaranteed. It says, if it's uncomfortable, it must be wrong. But the rich mindset, the rich mindset leans in. The rich mindset understands that pain is part of the process. That stretching is a sign of strength, not struggle. See, the poor mindset fears change because it clings to control. It says, at least I know how to survive here, even if here is toxic, even if here is empty, even if here is holding you hostage, because fear will convince you that asterisk familiar bondage asterisk is better than asterisk uncertain freedom asterisk. You ever met someone so in love with the past that they've got no room for the future? That's a poor mindset. That's a mind shackled to old patterns, old stories, old limitations, and they keep reliving them like reruns on a broken TV, wondering why nothing changes. But the rich mindset is different. It says, I was made for more than this, even if this is comfortable, even if this pays well, even if people clap for this. The rich mindset chooses growth over applause. It chooses development over convenience. It asks hard questions like, what am I avoiding that God is calling me into? It says, if it costs my comfort but brings me closer to purpose, then let it cost me. That's why some people plateau. Not because God isn't calling them higher, but because they refuse to climb. They're praying for elevation, but rejecting everything that would stretch their character to carry it. They're asking for doors to open while sitting on the couch of procrastination. But you can't step into overflow with a stagnant spirit. You can't live in purpose if you're allergic to change. And God is too wise to give growth to a mind that won't make room for it. This is the kind of mindset that says, I'm not afraid of being uncomfortable if it means becoming unstoppable. Because you either change your habits or your habits will chain you. The rich mindset says, what can I learn? The poor mindset says, why me? One sees problems as pathways, the other sees them as punishment. You've got to shift the question. That's where it all begins. Because when life hits you, and it will, you can either ask asterisk, why me? Asterisk, or you can stand up in the storm and say, asterisk, what can I learn? Asterisk, the poor mindset loves to throw pity parties. It loves to sit in the pain and rehearse the worst. Case scenario: why is this happening to me? Why can't I catch a break? Why is it always something? That mindset stays stuck because it keeps looking for sympathy instead of solutions. And as long as you ask the wrong question, you will get the wrong answers. You'll get answers that justify your limits, not break them. But the rich mindset, oh, it flips the script. The rich mindset doesn't waste a storm. The rich mindset says, asterisk, asterisk, what is this trying to teach me? What can I extract from this? Asterisk, asterisk, it believes that even in disappointment, there is development. Even in chaos, there is clarity. Because hear me, there are some things you will never learn on the mountaintop that can only be taught in the valley. And the poor mindset resents the valley, but the rich mindset respects it, because that's where roots grow. That's where faith is forged. That's where character is built. When you ask, why me? You position yourself as the victim of your story. But when you ask, what can I learn? You become the asterisk student asterisk of your destiny, and students grow, students evolve. Students don't have to have it all figured out, they just have to show up willing to learn. So when you face rejection, don't let it define you asterisk, study it asterisk. When you fall, don't just cry about it, asterisk, review it asterisk. Because every failure contains feedback, and every setback contains strategy. If you'll just stop sulking long enough to asterisk, seek asterisk it. You're not stuck because of your situation, you're stuck because of your interpretation. You've been calling it punishment, but what if it's preparation? What if God isn't trying to break you? He's trying to build you, and the construction site just looks messy right now. That's why the rich mindset sees pain as part of progress. It knows the question determines the trajectory. So don't just pray for God to change your situation, ask Him to upgrade your perspective, because the quality of your questions will always shape the quality of your life. The rich mindset builds people, the poor mindset blames people. Empowerment vs. entitlement. Let's talk real for a second because this one cuts deep. The rich mindset builds people. The poor mindset blames them. And you can tell the difference in how somebody talks. You ever hear someone who's always pointing fingers, always saying, if they would have helped me, or if they didn't hold me back, or they don't support me? That's the poor mindset screaming for attention while starving for accountability. That's the voice of someone who hasn't realized that God didn't give other people the power to stop your purpose. You've got to stop handing out blame slips when God gave you blueprints. See, the poor mindset is obsessed with asterisk, who's at fault asterisk. The rich mindset is focused on asterisk, what needs to be fixed asterisk. One tears down, the other builds up. The poor mindset looks at others as enemies to outdo or obstacles in the way. The rich mindset sees people as bricks, not barriers, bricks for building, because it knows this. Asterisk, asterisk, you don't get to purpose alone. Asterisk, asterisk, you don't level up by pulling people down. You rise when you asterisk lift asterisk. The rich mindset celebrates others even when they're ahead. It collaborates. It mentors, it learns, but the poor mindset, it competes, it compares, it complains. It's threatened by someone else's success because it's still uncertain about its own. But when you know who you are, when you know who called you, there's no need to blame. You just build. You build others, you build vision, you build what God gave you. You've got to choose. Are you going to be a builder or a blamer? Because blaming is easy. It costs nothing upfront, but it bankrupts your future. Building is harder, but it pays compound interest in destiny. And I feel this for somebody. You've been surrounded by people who blame, and it's leaking into you. You've been soaking in that victim mindset, that toxic talk, that bitterness dressed up like wisdom. Cut it off. You're called to build. Build your discipline, build your family, build your faith, And don't waste your energy tearing down what God is trying to grow in someone else. The rich mindset says, if they can win, so can I. The poor mindset says, if I can't win, no one should. And that right there. That's the difference between staying stuck and stepping into your calling. Your mindset is your master key. Wealth doesn't start in your wallet. It starts in your worship, your words, your will. Let me break it down right now. Asterisk, asterisk, your mindset is your master key. Asterisk, asterisk, you can pray for doors to open. You can cry out for breakthrough. But if your mind is locked, your life will stay locked. Because how you think determines what you unlock. You don't need a new location. You need a new revelation. You don't need more connections. You need more conviction. You're begging God for next level, but you're still thinking with last season's logic. And God is not going to give you access to what you're not mentally ready to manage. That's why some people have the gifting, but not the growth. The talent, but not the transformation. They're anointed, but undisciplined. Called, but stuck. Because a broken mindset can sabotage a blessed life. The enemy doesn't have to destroy you if he can distract your thoughts. If he can convince you you're not enough, not ready, not worthy, he's already won. That's why the battleground is always your mind. And that's why Romans 12:2 says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind, not the removal of your enemies. Not the increase in your bank account, not the applause of the crowd, the renewing of your asterisk mind. Asterisk, so what are you speaking over your life? What are you declaring in the dark? Because your words shape your world. If you keep saying, I'll never get out of this, your mind builds a prison. If you keep saying, I don't have what it takes, your spirit starts shrinking. But when you declare, I am equipped, even when you feel empty, something shifts. When you say, I'm chosen, even when you feel overlooked, heaven leans in. Because you're no longer speaking from your situation. You're speaking from your identity. And identity is the birthplace of power. You better get this deep in your soul. Asterisk, asterisk. A rich life doesn't start in your wallet. It starts in your worship. Asterisk, asterisk. It starts with believing that God's promises apply to you. That He didn't bring you this far to abandon you. That He gave you vision on purpose. So stop letting doubt have the final word. Stop letting fear sit in the driver's seat. You've got the key, you've got the truth, but you've got to use it. Because nothing in your life will change until your mind does. That's the real wealth. That's the foundation of every breakthrough. It's not about what's around you. It's about what's within you.